Hi, my name is Linda, and I have the privilege of partaking in the I've Witnessed video for Jake and Lily to share a little bit of their story from my perspective. And it's a very real story. It's very raw at times, but it's really about a battle and a victory. So they go to the same church that I do, although I didn't know them. And a couple of years ago, a friend of mine asked if I'd like to partake in a Zoom video each week with just a couple of ladies to just share life and pray with each other. And I said yes. And that's when I met Lily a couple of years ago in this weekly Zoom. And at the time, again, I didn't know her, but she was carrying a little bit of not being herself, being distracted and troubled. And each week as we would meet, she began to become more heavy laden and burdened. And just life became more and more difficult for her to function. I remember her saying that even just the task of folding clothes was almost more than what she could do. So she had to take a medical leave of absence from work. And it got to a point where we weren't meeting on Zoom once a week, but a couple times a week, and then sometimes almost every other day. So one of my friends in the group, I remember once asked Lily to sing "God Will Make a Way," and she sang it, and it was the most precious, angelic, childlike voice. And I didn't know that Lily and Jake were worship leaders, and that they had their own CD. They had wrote their own music, and I could then experience this beautiful voice. But as things progressed, she started seeking medical attention from different psychiatrists, trying different medications, which was very anxiety-filled because of side effects, and I totally understand that. And nothing was working. And I remember once meeting outside in the summer, and at this point, Lily had lost so much weight. She was really lifeless in her personality, and she was going to start electrical treatments. Also, in the middle of all of this, they moved to a brand new house, and her children were so excited to be moving, and Lily had no emotion of joy. I think probably it was more of a burden to pack and to do that. But all through this journey, Lily had faith. And so did Jake and her family. And I think of the footprints, the footprints on the sand on the beach, where we say where there are only one set of footprints. And I think that she clung to the Lord, but it became so difficult that she didn't even have the strength to do that. And he then clung to her. I think of Exodus 17, when Moses, as long as he held up his arms, the Israelites were winning the battle, but then it became too difficult for him. But Aaron and Hur held up his arms for him. And I think that's what happened with Lily as well, that her faithful husband and children and family and friends were holding her up when she herself had no strength. Then in December of 2022, we met at a little tea house that we love. And Lily shared a little bit about her brother and his death, and a little bit of what that was like for her, which I'm sure she will share that story. I don't even know the whole story, but I know it was traumatic and horrible for her. And she shared a little, and we all felt like today the door opened a little bit, and we felt it. So for the rest of 2023, Lily went through healing, and how wonderful and joyful to experience that with her. I remember sometimes when there's so much emotion when we were Zooming and we didn't have words to say. We would I remember muting and just crying and praying. So Mark 9:23 says, all things are possible to him who believes. And to believe is activated faith, to reach out and grab and to hold your arms like Moses. So I'm currently reading a book by Jan Heyman, and I just read something the other day, and it just kind of sums up what Lily and Jake are doing. The title is Breakthrough and Go Beyond in this chapter, and it says, we press in through prayer to receive a miracle, a healing, or a provision. Once we have broken through and received our answer, however, true breakthrough dictates that we become the breaker for others. Our miracle becomes the catalyst for others to experience God's supernatural power. We must go through so that we can go beyond. And I feel that's exactly what Lily and Jake are doing right now. Their heart's desire is for others to be set free. And they are like heaven's army, going out to the front lines, advancing and breaking through every hindrance, every lie of the enemy, so that others can be set free. Their story is a message of hope, and may you be blessed by it.